are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Township credit card records show Henyard and other officials spent more than $67,000 on trips to Portland, Austin, Atlanta, and New York City. Many of the flights were first class.
I am a resident of Fulton County. I have always been a resident of Fulton County since May 1 of 2025.
I can't believe it, y'all. I can't believe it. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You know we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about Tiffany Henyard here in Fulton County in Georgia. I still can't believe this. Self-described super mayor can continue her Fulton County candidacy. Tiffany Henyard is running as a Republican for Marvin Arrington's District 5 seat in a heavenly blue county. I am going to be interested to see who Marvin Arrington endorses for his position. I don't think it'll be Tiffany Henyard by any means of measure. Let's keep going. The former self-described super mayor, whose candidacy brought even more drama to the Fulton County elections this spring, will be allowed to continue running for the county commission. Tiffany Henyard was in attendance on Monday, and the Fulton County Elections Board 3-1 vote was allowed to remain on the May 19th, 2026 ballot in her quest to become a new District 5 commissioner. The facts are the facts. Victory today, she said following the discussion, or rather the decision. It's about the law, not people's opinion. Henyard's candidacy was on the board's Monday agenda only because the board itself forgot to notify her of its previous meeting almost 2 weeks ago. I am a resident of Fulton County. I've always been a resident of Fulton County since May 1st, 2025, Henyard said during the hearing. At issue was whether Henyard's running as a Republican in the heavily Democratic county had met all of the residency requirements that would allow her to continue campaigning for the seat that had been held since 2014 by Marvin Arrington Jr., who is challenging Rob Pitts for the commission chair this election season. I don't think that's actually true. And if you go back and listen, they were debating originally whether or not Tiffany Henyard had met the requirements to actually be qualified initially. That is the problem. They turned it into this whole thing about whether or not she would be in Georgia, had been in Georgia for a year by the time the election comes around. Well, that's a silly argument. That wasn't the argument that y'all were having. The board examined documents submitted by Henyard, including a lease agreement, voter registration card, and renter's insurance as part of its review. Questions were raised about the timing of her Georgia driver's license, which board members noted was issued less than a year before the term of office would begin. See, that's not the point. The point was the fact that she had not been in Georgia a year before she, quote unquote, qualified. Henyard defended her eligibility, pointing to Georgia's law regarding domicile. The law states domicile, which I just proved to everybody. She said, I gave documentation and gave you everything you need to say that I am a Georgia resident. I still can't believe this. The decision drew criticism from some residents who attended the hearing, citing concerns about Henyard's record in Illinois, which includes multiple investigations and lawsuits related to spending and governance. Hey, let's just bring this up real quick.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Dalton's difficulties got worse in recent weeks with water main breaks. Henyard blames on trustee budget cuts. Then 4 people were shot and injured last week, leaving nerves frayed, and Henyard's opponents pointing out her sizable security detail.
It's unfortunate that politics are being played, but what has happened is $1 million out of my budget has been cut because of politics.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work.
Tiffany Henyard considers herself something of a crusader, but one who's clearly annoyed by questions from a rebellious group of Dalton trustees who are in a standoff with her over spending.
At the end of the day, vendors are not being paid. Board approved it. The vendors are not being paid. How about you be a good leader, bring RFPs to the forefront? So not just us, but the residents and everybody else in America know how the money is being spent.
WGN Investigates has cataloged tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent on trips, meals, and more by Tiffany Henyard and her allies in Dalton and on the Thornton Township Board, where she's the supervisor. Township credit card records show Henyard and other officials spent more than $67,000 on trips to Portland, Austin, Atlanta, and New York City. Many of the flights were first class. So were the accommodations. In Atlanta, Henyard and her team stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, costing taxpayers more than $9,000. In New York, the bill came to $13,000.
All right, so let's get back to it. Let's go. You are not going to hear the last of it, Fulton County, said Siobhan Lashley, who opposes Henyard's candidacy. Please be aware of what is going on. Don't fall for it. Henyard, 42, previously served as the mayor of Dalton, Illinois. We know that from 2021 to 2025. As a supervisor of Thornton Township from 22 to 25. According to public records, she was defeated in her 25 bid for re-election as Dalton mayor. Henyard's Instagram profile dubs her as the youngest and the first woman mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township, the most powerful woman in the Southland of Chicago, #supermayor. Henyard's move to Georgia and run for office came after years of scrutiny in Illinois, where her administration faced multiple investigations and lawsuits tied to village spending and governance. Recent reports in the Chicago Sun-Times also detail a lawsuit filed by the city of Dalton against the Fifth Third Bank, alleging that the bank enabled improper payments during Henyard's tenure. What we are witnessing right now is not about residency, it's about desperation, a desperate attempt to silence a voice, or block a candidate, and to prevent the truth from reaching the people, Henyard said in a statement. What's the truth? What's the truth, Tiffany? What's the truth? Like, you haven't even been here a whole year. What are you talking about? There's no question about my residence, she said. On May 1st, 2025, I made a deliberate and documented decision to establish my life here in Georgia. I secured a bona fide residence, opened my business, and became an active part of this community. I would love for somebody to tell me what she's doing. I would absolutely love that. Residency is not defined by paperwork alone. It is defined by where you live, where you work, and where you invest your time, energy, and purpose. And I have done all three right here in Fulton County. Really? So you say. Henyard has acknowledged she could have updated certain documents sooner, but let's not confuse administrative timing with the reality of where I live and where I have built my life. She said, what this challenge truly reflects is a fear of an African-American woman who is bold enough to stand up, speak truth, and challenge the status quo. How's she going to bring in race to the situation when the board is primarily Black people? See, this is what's going to happen. Let's keep it going. Also running for an open seat are the Democrats' Deja Felicity Swindell, a marketing strategist, accountant Helen Willis, J. Jazz Thomas Jones, who described herself as a podcaster and freelance journalist, and Sojourner Grimmett, a marketing and communications specialist. All right, let's see what they got to say in the news. Let's go.
Voters will see a controversial candidate on next month's primary ballot after a heated hearing over her eligibility.
Former Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard defended her residency today as she runs for a District 5 Commission seat. Land News First reporter Adam Murphy joins us live from the Fulton County Registration and Elections Office. And Adam, this is a case you've been following very closely, and the decision today was not unanimous.
Joe, the board ultimately ruled in Henyard's favor, but not without some pushback from some residents who said that her troubled past should have been more than enough to disqualify her from the race.
Do you swear or affirm that the information that you are about to provide is the truth? So help you God. Yes.
Fulton County Commission candidate Tiffany Henyard testified under oath Monday at the Department of Registration and Elections.
I am a resident of Fulton County. I have always been a resident of Fulton County since May 1 of 2025.
The purpose of the hearing was to decide whether Henyard should be on the ballot for next month's primary based on her residency. She is running as a Republican for the District 5 Commission seat and previously served as a Democratic mayor of Dalton, Illinois, but lost her re-election bid in 2025.
You got your driver's license on February 26th, which
That's the
would
only
be
person
less than a
pushback.
year before the position takes place.
The law states domicile, which I have, which I just proved to everybody. I gave you documentation. I gave you everything you need to say that I am a Georgia resident.
Henyard presented board members with multiple documents like her lease, voter registration card, and renter's insurance. The board then voted 3-1 in favor of approving her candidacy.
Facts out of facts. Victory today.
Henyard said it was never about her residency. Instead, she said it was an attempt to silence her voice.
Well, I think that they got it right as it relates to allow me to stay on the ballot because I meet the qualifications. It's about the law, not people's opinion.
Some residents spoke out against Henyard after the meeting, arguing that she shouldn't be allowed on the ballot. Her time in office in Illinois drew significant scrutiny, including multiple investigations and lawsuits over spending and governance.
So you're not going to hear the last of it, Fulton County. If you're out here, please be aware of what's going on. Don't fall for it. Y'all already suffering. Y'all already suffering, and you don't need the hands of Tiffany.
Henyard said she changed political parties because she said she lost faith in the Democratic Party and that it had changed and her values didn't match up. Also, she told us she will now be hitting the campaign trail this weekend and fight for the people of South Fulton County. Live in Union City, Adam Murphy, Atlanta News First.
Thank you, Adam.
Are you as surprised as I am that Tiffany Henyard has brought herself down here? Did you think it was going to happen? Did you think it was going to happen? That she would come to Georgia from Chicago, from the Southland? And then what do you think her possibilities of winning are? Give me your thoughts. I really want to hear about them. Let's keep that conversation going down in the comments below. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.